In early spring of 2018, I decided to take my lifted 04 Outback and turn it into a drift car. Pulled out the nasty, rusty rear subframe, threw in a Toyota rear-wheel drive transmission, fitted a Ford 8.8 rear differential, built some custom hubs. My goal was to take this car to a drift event the first weekend in August. This is the last week of July, and I'm finally starting fabricating my rear knuckles so that I can make stock Ford Explorer axles fit. Initially, I planned to fabricate custom knuckles, ended up going this route of just cutting a 5-inch hole in the stock knuckle and making it work. I got hole saws and they took forever, so literally they took about 3 days to cut 2 holes, hours of just hole sawing. And so here's me putting the diff in. You don't have to watch the whole 3 days of drilling. It's terrible. Also here, turns out the rear diff mount that I made, not the best design. I have a new one in the works, but I probably won't finish that up until winter hits, because this one does currently work, it's just not ideal for actually putting a new diff in. Alright, back to the action at the knuckles. Drilled down through the knuckles. I have this 5-inch pipe that I'm going to weld in to extend the wheel bearing mounting surface out so that I can fit Ford Explorer axles. So just to reiterate, the whole reason I'm doing this is so I can use factory stock Ford Explorer axles that I can get for $16. So I am having issues with it. This guy right here. So the Ford Explorer has a much wider rear track than a Legacy Outback, and so I needed to make custom knuckles to be able to fit that. Now in the last episode, I went and I machined Ford Explorer hubs to be able to fit inside Honda NSX wheel bearings. The main point of this was so that I had a wheel bearing that I could actually bolt on to a custom knuckle. There's a bunch of issues that come into play when you're trying to use a knuckle with a press-in bearing that I didn't want to deal with. I just wanted to be able to bolt a bearing to my knuckle. These are the plates I'm going to use to bolt my wheel bearings to, slide the whole unit on, and essentially that's what we're going to do. It's going to work. It's crazy, what? It's actually going to work. My ridiculous idea. I'm excited. That's pretty cool thing. So I got a ton taken care of today. So it's Monday, the 24th, 23rd, I don't even know, of July, 23rd. And my wife is watching our daughter all day so that I can get as much done on the car as possible. But I only have 2 more days after today. I have Monday, Friday, and part of Saturday, hopefully, and then the evenings, which I can get a lot done. I don't do any fab work in the evenings though, and even right now it's like 5:30 or so, and usually by 5 I don't like working on the car because people are getting home from work and they don't want to be hearing grinding and chop saws all evening. I like peace and quiet, and I like it when people respect my time, and so I like working and doing the fab stuff during the day when people are gone. But I need to get as much done today as possible, and so when I was done, like burned out today, didn't matter. I have to keep working. I don't have time anymore. Power Cruise is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. It actually starts on Thursday this year, and so it's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This thing needs to be done and driving. Not necessarily done, but driving by Saturday, so I can break in my clutch and work out any quirks, or even see if it's just not gonna work. I don't know. So I gotta finish the knuckles, get these tacked together, and TIG weld them. After that, I gotta put the tranny in, install the drive shaft, get the pinion angle set. I gotta wire up the car so it thinks it's still an automatic. Oh, I do have another day of fab. I need to build my brake brackets for my Mustang GT rear brakes. Bleed the brakes, bleed the clutch, do my fluid, so the diff is empty right now, the tranny is empty, needs coolant in the engine. I want to see if I can get my Toyota speed sensor hooked up. Yeah, there's just there's just a lot to be done in a short amount of time. Oh, and I have to put the whole dash back together with the HVAC system. I want to put the AC back together and get it going. That's for a different video. But I gotta get my interior back together. I'm done rambling. This is awesome. I'm having a good time building my dream car. It's gonna be so rad when it's done. And it is so close right now. There is a Ford Explorer axle sitting here. I'm at one of those burnout stages right now where it's like, how much more do I want to do today? And I still have hours, and so I don't know. So with all of this, unfortunately, I had some footage lost. My main camera that I've been using just died on me. So I lost a bunch of footage, and the rest of this is unfortunately just shot on a GoPro. But I forgot that a very generous viewer donated a plasma cutter to me. So nice. Ground those plates down. Here you can see a plate that I cut with a angle grinder and how much worse it looks. Throwing on custom hubs and Honda bearings. Because the diameter of the bolt circle of the wheel bearings is just barely over 5 inches, ground down the heads of a bunch of bolts, and then I was gonna just weld the back side of the bolts to the wheel bearing plate. All right. Knuckles are ready to go on. So, what I've been doing today, I came in and ground these edges of the knuckles down just so that I knew there was going to be enough clearance for the CV joint and mostly the boot to clear these sections. I think we're set. I guess this is also a good time you can check out my welds. Over here, this one was better. This is the one I went 100% using the hole saw on. So the gaps were smaller and I was able to get way better welds on this one. I also did this one second, which after not welding, TIG welding for basically 10 years, definitely needed some practice. But these ones all look good, and again, I did the same grinding out right here and right here to be able to make sure there's clearance on that. So I think we're set. I think I'm ready to put these knuckles in for the last time. So by extending my knuckle, as opposed to building knuckles from scratch, I retain all of the stock mounting points, all of the stock suspension points, and I'm going to retain stock geometry and adjustability. Alright, so I got threads that are kind of hoopty in one of my subframe bolt locations. So I have this extra one, and I'm going to go ahead and chase the threads because I don't have tap and die set big enough. But I used this before on the huge subframe bolts, like the 4 main subframe bolts. This one is just for the trailing arm, but it worked on the main subframe, and so I'm going to assume it's going to work on this one. Oh, first time it's been off jack stands. We're getting here. So I still need to make my brake caliper mounts. But yeah, and then tighten everything up. It needs an alignment really bad, but I don't think I'm going to have time before Power Cruise, so I'm just going with whatever. Although, looking at it, holy suck. Needs an alignment really bad. Anyway, Yeah, it's been a long time coming. This one. Oof, this one's just as bad. That might have been my fault, the way that I built the knuckles. But, whatever. It'll work. And, yeah, I just need to put the struts in it, and then get the, what's called? The brake calipers on. And this one needs a bolt, because one of the bolts I bought, or nuts I bought, was the wrong one. So, next on the list is the brakes. Get the rear end buttoned up, throw in my driveline, fluids, rear diff, and tranny. If I have time, I would really like to do the AC in this and make sure it's set. And then the big one is still putting my interior back together, which isn't as bad as it looks. It's just all taken apart. I know where everything goes though, so not the end of the world. Oh, so hopefully I can get all this done and be on my way to Power Cruise. That's just like one of my fears that's in the back of my head. Like, what if this just sucks though? Like, after all of this work, what if it sucks? That's just one of those like dumb second guessing yourself things, I think. We'll find out anyway.